I'm going to show one way to make an inexpensive ceramic press mold by using this candy mold made out of plastic. The nice thing about using a commercially made plastic mold like this is the back has the reverse of the impression on the side that you would normally use to mold your candy. The simple tools that I have assembled are this masking tape, a larger container of plaster of Paris, this to hold water, and then this styrofoam cup will become part of the mold for my mold. The styrofoam cup just happened to be handy. I might also use cardboard instead or something else to dam up the sides of the plaster that I'm going to pour. Once I have cleaned up the bottom ring that I cut from the cup, I'm going to tape it down and isolate one of the ships. Here I've done my best with the masking tape to try to make a watertight seal around one of the ships on the plastic mold. And in this plastic container, I've tried to put as much water as I feel will fit inside the retaining ring that's made from the bottom of that cup. And the white powder that I'm adding to the water is plaster of Paris. It takes quite a bit of plaster to make a nice, smooth, creamy solution. I know from experience that the plaster will not stay stuck to the plastic mold. However, if you have another surface that you think it might stick to, you might want to put a little silicone spray on whatever you're trying to mold from. When I'm pouring this plaster, you can see that it flows like really, really heavy cream. Masking tape is not necessarily the best material to use to make a watertight seal, but when your plaster is this thick, it won't leak much, if at all. You may also notice that I'm shaking and dropping it a little bit, and that way we get the air bubbles off the bottom, just like making a cake. I try to allow it to fully set, but I know that plaster sets long before it dries. Here I have allowed it to set overnight, but there's still quite a bit of moisture in it. You might notice that it came right off of the plastic candy mold, but it's sort of stuck to the styrofoam, which has to be peeled off. Although it does need a little bit of cleaning up, you can see that it is a mold of the ship. So here I'm going to take a metal tool and I'm going to clean up the edges a bit. I'm doing this while it's still a bit damp. That makes it very malleable and easy to work with without a lot of chipping. Now, depending on the weather and the amount of moisture in the air, this could be fully cured and dried in a week or so. Still, I'm going to do a test run on it before it's fully cured, just to make sure that the impression's good. Here I have my mold and a small amount of clay. I make it into a ball and I'm going to press it into the center. Press it out to the sides, make sure that it's firmly packed in. I use the tool to pull some clay off the back, keeping it relatively flat, and then I'm going to use the nice smooth table to create a suction seal. Once it feels firmly stuck to the table, I pull it up. There it is. I use the rib as a spatula. I pull it up, and I'll have to take another tool and trim off the edges, but there's my ship.